Hello, and welcome to Office Hours with Dr. Dan. I'm Dan. Today's topic is, why does mud slide? In technical terms, a mudslide is a slope stability failure. This means that the side of a hill, embankment, or trench detaches from the main portion of the slope and moves downward towards the bottom of the slope. Sometimes the failing part of the slope moves very fast and causes a great deal of destruction. Today we are going to examine the mechanics behind a linear failure plane or slip surface. Not every slope stability failure is linear, but they are easier to explain, and the same general failure mechanisms are present in more complicated failure surfaces. The face of our example slope is inclined at an angle A, and will fail along a line inclined at a shallower angle B. The material in the failure wedge has a weight W, which acts vertically because of gravity. The weight has two components. One component acts parallel to the failure plane, and the other component acts perpendicular to the failure plane. The component that acts parallel to the failure plane is trying to fail the slope. The component that acts perpendicular to the failure plane resists failure by developing friction between the failure wedge and the main body of the slope. If the soil that makes up the slope contains clay, there may also be a cohesive component to help resist failure. Cohesion occurs because individual clay particles have a natural attraction for one another that most other soils don't have. This attraction acts like a glue to bond the particles together. There are two main reasons why slopes fail. The weight of the failure wedge increases and/or the resisting forces decrease. Many slope stability failures occur after an area receives a large amount of rain. These failures happen because the rain seeps into the ground and replaces some or all of the air in the soil with water. Water is much heavier than air, so the weight of the failure wedge increases. The water can also act as a lubricant and cause the slope to fail. Some slope failures occur suddenly, with little to no warning. Other slopes fail gradually, a little bit at a time. At some point, the mini-slides may weaken the slope to such an extent that a catastrophic or sudden failure occurs. Telltale signs of a slowly failing slope are widening cracks or fissures across the slope surface, as well as trees, which normally grow vertically, projecting at odd angles from the slope. There are ways to increase a slope stability. The slope's angle can be decreased by removing or adding material. Shallow slopes are more stable because more of the failure wedge's weight is converted to friction. Anchors can be installed through the failure plane to lock the failure wedge in place. Steps can also be taken to limit the amount of water that infiltrates into the slope, which will prevent the weight of the failure wedge from increasing. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about slopes and why they can fail. Take care, and I'll see you next time.